Lesson 7.4, Algebra, the percent equation. There are about 854,000 different species of spiders, insects, crustaceans, millipedes, and centipedes on Earth. The graph shows that 88% of the total numbers of species of arthropods are insects. Use the percent proportion to find how many species are insects. Okay, the part P over 854,000, which represents the whole in our proportion, equals 88 over 100. Cross products give us 100p equals 75,152,000. If we divide both sides of the equation by 100 to isolate the variable, we find that p equals 751,520 species. Number 2 says express the percent of insects as a decimal. Well, 88% as a decimal equals 0.88. It's p to d. So we take 0.88, multiply that by 854,000, and our result is 751,520. In Lesson 7.2, you used a percent proportion to find the missing part, percent, or whole. You can also use an equation. The percent equation is another form of the percent proportion. This, as you can see, is the percent proportion with one slight change. Instead of writing this ratio of percent to 100, they've changed it. They tell you here to change the percent to a decimal, in this case 0.88, or as a fraction, which in this case would be 22 over 25. And then use the other side of the proportion just as it would be. In this case, you multiply both sides of the equation by the whole, and you get the part by itself. And percent times whole equals part is the percent equation. Find the part. What number is 12% of 150? Estimate. 12% of 150 is about 10% of 150, or 15. Write 12% as a decimal, 0.12. The whole is 150. You need to find the part. Let p represent the part. 0.12 the percent times 150. This is the percent equation right here. So p equals 18. So 18 is 12% of 150. Our estimate was 15. So we believe that 18 is a reasonable answer. Check your progress. In example A, what is 6% of 19? So we're going to do the same as they did. We're going to use p as our variable. We're going to change 6% to a decimal. P to d, 0.06 times 19. So p equals 1.1. In B, find 72% of 90. So again, p equals 0.72 times 90. So p equals 64.8. In example 2, find the percent. 21 is what percent of 40? Their estimate 21 of 40 is about half, or 50%. The part is 21, the whole is 40. You need to find the percent. Let n represent the percent. So 21, the part, equals the percent n times 40. In this case, they divide both sides of the equation by 40. They get 0.525 equals n. To change that to a percent, it's d to p, 2 places to the right. So we get 52.5%. Our estimate up here was 50%. We believe that 52.5% is a reasonable answer. Write an equation for each problem, then solve round to the nearest tenth if necessary. So C, we know the part, 35. We don't know the percent. We're going to use n as our variable times 70. So we're going to take 35 divided by 70, 70n. We're going to change our order here using the commutative property multiplication. So n in this case equals 0.5, which is 50%, d to p. This is example C. Example D, we know the part, 75. We don't know the percent, so we got n times 125. We're going to divide both sides of our equation by 125 in this case, so we can get the variable by itself. So we get 0.6 as a decimal equals n. 0.6 as a percent is 60%. So 75 is 60% of 125. Example E. Again, we know the part. 9 equals n times 40. We're looking for percent. N represents percent. So we have 9 equals 40n. We're going to divide both sides of our equation by 40. In this case, n equals 0.225. So to the nearest tenth, n equals 22.5%. And finally, example F. We know the part. Looking for the percent, n times 150. So 27 equals 150n. Divide both sides of our equation by 150. N equals 0.18 or 18%. Third example, find the whole. 13 is 26% of what number? Our estimate, 26% rounds to 1/4. 1/4 of 48 is about 12. We know the part, 13. We know the percent, which is 26. We change that to a decimal, 0.26. We're looking for the whole, so we use the variable w. We divide both sides of our equation by 0.26, and we get an answer of 50, which is 26% of, or 13 is 26% of 50. Our estimate was 48. So our answer is reasonable. Example G. We know the part. We know the percent. In this case, it's 84%. We're going to write that as a decimal. We're going to use W as our variable. We're going to divide both sides of our equation by 0.84. We get W equals 46.4%. Example H. We know the part, 45. We know the whole, or the percent, which is 0.26. We're looking for the whole. We divide both sides of our equation by 0.26. And we solve for W with 173.1. So 45 is 26% of 173.1. Example I. We know the part. We know the percent. In this case, 14%. We're going to write that as a decimal, 0.14. We're looking for the whole. We divide both sides of the equation by 0.14 and solve for W. W equals 50. And J, our last example, we know the part. We know the percent, 32%. We're going to write that as a decimal. We're going to divide both sides of our equation by 0.32 and solve for W. W equals 75. So 24 is 32% of 75. The survey found that 25% of people ages 18 to 24 gave up their home phone and only use a cell phone. If 3,264 people only use a cell phone, how many people were surveyed? So we know the part, we're looking for the whole. 3,264 equals 25% of the whole, which we don't know. We change 25% to a decimal, 0.25. We divide each side of the equation by 0.25 using a calculator, and we get approximately 13,056 people in our survey. Example K. The Louisville, Jefferson County metropolitan area contains 17.2% of the population of Kentucky. If the population of Kentucky is about 4,040,000 people, what is the population of the Louisville, Jefferson County metropolitan area? In this case, we're looking for the part. So P is going to be our variable. We know the percent, which is 17.2. We're going to change that to a decimal, 0.172. We're going to multiply that by 4,040,000. And our answer then is about 694,880 people in the Louisville, Jefferson County metropolitan area. Types of percent problems. Find the part. P is the variable, equals the percent times the whole. Find the percent. N is the variable. Part equals percent times the whole. Find the whole. W is the variable. Part equals percent times the whole. Example 1. What number is 88% of 300? So we're looking for the part in number 1. So P equals 0.88 times 300. P, the part, equals 264. Number 2. Again, looking for the part. The part equals 12%, 0.12 times 250. The part equals 30. Number 3. In this case, we're looking for the percent. We know the part, 75. We know the whole, 150. We don't know the percent. We divide both sides of our equation by 150. And our answer, N equals 0.5. Change the percent to a decimal. 2 places to the right. The answer is 50% D to P. Number 4. Again, we don't know the percent. We know the part, 24. We don't know the percent. We know the whole. We're going to divide both sides of our equation by 120 to isolate the variable. Rewrite this slightly. The percent equals 0.2. Again, D to P, 20%. Example number 5. We know the part. We're looking for the whole. So number 5, P equals 12%, 0.12 W. We divide both sides of our equation by 0.12. And let's rewrite that. We know the part. What number is 88% of 300? No, 3 is 12% of what number? 3 equals 0.12 W. Divide both sides of the equation by 0.12 W equals 25. Problem number 5. Number 6. 84 is 60% of what number? So we know the part. We know the percent. 60%, 0.6 times W. Divide both sides of the equation by 0.6. W equals 140. And finally, number 7. A local bakery sold 60 loaves of bread in one day. If 65% of these were sold in the afternoon, how many loaves were sold in the afternoon? We are looking for the part. We know that it's 65% of the whole, which in this case is 60. So 65% times 60 is 39 loaves. 39 loaves is 65% of 60. The vocabulary in this lesson is the percent equation, an equation that describes the relationship between the part, whole, and percent, which is the part equals the percent times the whole. Part equals the percent times the whole. At this point, you should quit the video, go back to my Moodle page, click on the link to Naiku, type in your login number, which is your student number, and your password, which is your student number, followed immediately by your last name.